And we're live.
And we're live.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
We're back with a lot of Noodlebergs. For those of you that aren't tired of us yet.
Yeah.
Welcome to social media, Stan.
Welcome aboard, Daddy-O.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with my
This is pretty cool.
All my
Not your siblings.
No, all my
sorry.
all my offsprings.
It was
Yeah.
actually, it was funny. Mark, before you got in here, I got in, and he goes like this at the screen. Hello?
What'd you say?
The whole concept, listen to me. The whole concept of you guys doing this and not being here is blowing his mind. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm used to adding numbers on a brown paper bag. But
Hooray.
I love
Welcome
it.
to Happy Hour. Hopefully everybody has a cocktail.
amen.
Lots to
Cheers,
celebrate.
guys.
Lots to celebrate. A really good day. In short order, we will have all of us together for dinner tonight, and then a big celebration tomorrow. So not bad.
And it's my son's birthday.
Yes, indeed.
And
That
a
it
big
is.
one. Can't believe
They
it.
know. I've been touting it, so they
Okay.
know.
60. 60, 60, 60.
So it's totally out of character, man. I got all the scotch lined up for him, and he goes, "I want vodka."
Wow.
What?
Wow.
What are you, an imposter?
I'm starting to lighten up.
I was like, "What are you?
No way.
You're an imposter." Like the Doers Factory is going to go out of business.
I've never known you my entire.
60 years old. I got underwear older than that.
All I know.
All right,
All I know is sell doer stock now. Sell, sell, sell.
all right. So
It's going down.
all right, just know that you're going to be in. Like, if you've ever heard of the comedian Michelle, please, Michelle, we're live. So please, I can't overtalk you. So I'm asking you to, while we're doing this, thank you. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, right back here. Brett Sadler bringing in Las Vegas. Thank you, MGM, open for business. Scotty Garber, we do miss you. The family stuff.
Family
Grandpa's going to tomorrow. He's going to see. Sunday. He'll see
Sunday.
your mother and that whole.
See your
side.
mother and your sister.
We have a Yaverbaum in the house. David Yaverbaum's here.
Oh, David.
You don't have to look.
No.
This is the greatest thing ever invented.
The fact that we got this to happen is the best thing ever.
So he's got a nice little buzz going. So,
David Yaverbaum, all right.
so,
The offspring of one of my favorite nephews. My favorite nephew, your father.
so we are in celebration mode. We've already opened the cocktails.
Yes, we
And
have.
Mark, why don't you set us up for what this will be?
So I think this is great, and keeping with what the fundamentals of what we always do. We're here to deliver value, and you get to hear from obviously my dad and myself every single day. But now we get to hear from the OOG, as I like to talk about it, and the guy who really started it all, the fundamental entrepreneur, and really brought the family down to South Florida. My dad would not even be here had it not been for your bad back and the fact that you had to get out of cold weather. So I think let's set the stage just the way we would normally do on Tell Me Something Good. Instead of asking you to tell me something good, why don't you give us the Cliff Notes version of how Stan got from New York to South Florida?
I had some serious back surgery.
Back it up. Prior to that, living in New York, what you did there. Give us your short story.
We had a successful shoe store in Brooklyn, and we were doing
Couple of them.
Yeah, we had a couple. We were doing very well. Myself
Gotta
and,
poke him, man. It's like
and
he just got up from his nap.
and his grandfather, my father-in-law.
We've talked about Poppy.
We
Doing
talk about
very
him all
well.
the time.
Yeah, and let's see what happened then. Then I hurt my back. Shoveling snow, I hurt my back badly, and I had some surgery. And when I got out of surgery, the doctor told me you need to go in warm climate. Well, my in-laws had moved down to Florida, so I went down to visit them. They lived in Hollywood. I went down to visit
Boca
them.
Vista.
Oh, right.
He's gonna have to start over, dude.
So I went down to Florida to visit them to recuperate from my back surgery. And while I was down here, I looked at a property. I put a deposit on a house, and I put a deposit on a store. And I called my wife, who was watching my business in New York, and I told her, we're moving to Florida. She says, you're crazy. I says, no, I'm not crazy. I says, put the house and the business for sale. We're out of here. Within 6 months, I took my family, my wife, and all of us, we moved to Florida.
Now, if you remember correctly,
No fear. No fear.
He was 14.
I was so pissed that I basically said, screw you, I'm not going until and they were going to leave without me. I was like,
All my kids are unhappy.
yeah, I mean, we were.
So I gotta know though. I gotta know. You
My
gotta
friend,
take me
what
back.
am I going to do?
You scared? You had no fear. You had no fear
I
of
had
just
no fear at
uprooting
all.
your family and starting a new business in a place that
I was not yet 30 years old. I had no fear.
you had no brains either.
Now I have fear.
You were 30? No, I was 30? No.
No,
You were-
I was 39. I'm
39.
sorry. I was
Right.
39.
Got
Right.
And I still
Okay.
had no fear. I said,
So-
this is what I want to do. Here was a Jewish kid from Brooklyn moving into a house in Hollywood, Florida with a swimming pool. Couldn't believe it.
It was great.
Once
Right.
once the kids came down and saw the house, everything changed.
How was the transition in the business? We're always helping people. We're helping salespeople on a daily basis.
Okay.
So I want to know what it was like for you transitioning to a place where you really had no local ties. You really had to build a new network. You had to drive new customers. How'd you do that?
I found a location in a discount area, which I had no background with discount. Had no experience with discount. I decided to go for it. I found a location in the discount area. I went to all my previous vendors. We made a deal. I opened up a little discount store in a little shopping center in Hollywood, in Hallandale. And lo and behold, I hit it big. It made it very successful. So much.
Why?
Surprised?
I wasn't able to do much, but I was able to sell shoes. And
Why? What made you successful at that?
This isn't.
What made you successful at that?
This isn't important. This is why we do this stuff.
Say again?
What made you successful at selling shoes? You couldn't do much, but you could sell shoes.
I sold
Why could you
myself.
sell shoes?
I sold myself. I got a lady in front of my stool, and I put on the charm. I sold myself.
Put on the charm. Look at this guy.
One pair.
Put on the
Yeah, I
charm.
wasn't happy with 2 pair. 3 pair, I felt a little better.
Can you imagine
That's awesome.
buying 3 pairs of shoes? And that's how I grew up. I grew up going to the store in the stores in New York, which were fun and novelty for me. But when here in high school, I worked in the stores here,
yeah.
and the stores were damp. I mean, you couldn't
Right.
you could barely have time for lunch. You know,
So
you were slamming.
I was slamming.
Yeah.
I was slamming.
It was like people
And
were
I-
coming.
And I loved it. I loved it
why'd you love it?
because that's who I am. I loved it. I loved dealing with people, dealing with ladies, and dealing with I was a lot younger.
But I
Then.
think that's telling. I think
Go figure.
Look at these 2 studs in front of me. Doesn't fall far from the tree.
I think that's it's telling. You loved working with people, and I remember visiting you in the shoe stores as a kid, and I remember the way the ladies would talk about you. And you didn't just sell shoes to people; you made them feel good about buying shoes.
Absolutely.
Like-
That's what it's all about.
Well,
You know,
you talked about it this morning which was so significant about the experience. You know, as I started to spend more time in the stores, I realized that ladies came in to be heard, to be part of something. You know, it was fashion was part of it, but you know, the other side, I mean, look, the value proposition was really cool because it was the top shoes you could buy for a lot of money for less. I mean, that was like a thing for a while where you had to get the inventory. So his relationships with all the vendors were like, whoa, 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 you can't discount my shit. But with him, they let him do it. It was like a one place you could go to. So people came from all over the world to buy from us, which was so much fun. But every single person that came in regularly came in to the same person. I had my following, he had his following, everybody that worked in the store, and we had a lot of salespeople. You know, they all had their own following, which we talked about.
Look, you can buy shoes anywhere. A lady can buy shoes anywhere. You got to give them a reason to come back. And we gave them a reason.
So we talked about that this morning because I'm assuming you guys did absolutely no advertising at that point, right? I mean, did you do some print advertising? No advertising, right? So, in today's world, every word of
unbelievable. That is unsolicited. That's this morning's shopping.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that is unbelievable, man. You can't.
So the fundamentals stay true forever and ever and ever. And with today's tools, which is what we were talking about today, it's never been easier to create word of mouth marketing. But the world has changed. For some reason, people think that paid advertising and all the things that you got to spend money to do is the way to get it. And we talked about, you know, Gary Vaynerchuk is a guy who stands out from the crowd as a marketing guy.
You know who Gary Vaynerchuk is?
No.
I'm going to say, you two are some of the best coaches I know. I don't think you can coach.
Vaynerchuk.
Gary Vaynerchuk.
And so that's amazing. It's amazing that the fundamentals of that business and the way that you guys created word of mouth, which is what we talked about this morning, which is critical.
You got one customer at a time, which that became the place to go if you wanted to buy high-end shoes.
High-end shoes at a discount, you know, and be treated like a queen.
So the difference is that, you know, here's where it speaks to experience. Most people thought going to shop for discount price was that you were going to go to a shithole.
No.
We made it nice.
Right. You brought the experience. You brought the customer experience to a new level. They were able to get deals.
I want you to say hello to a couple people. Okay. I want you to say hello to Ben Sterner.
Hello, Ben Sterner.
He's a good friend. He's in New York.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of work with him. I want you to say hello to Kim Sweers, who's hosting us tomorrow on the boat.
Hi, Kim. Hi, Kim Sweers. I'll see you tomorrow.
Excited? The audience.
Thrilled to pieces. I can't wait to meet you.
Love it.
Awesome. Jake, why don't you jump in?
Nah, this is fantastic. I mean, we don't get to FaceTime, and being face-to-face with Grandpa is new to him. Just quick, funny story. We called him on Father's Day. We FaceTime with him. It was awesome. And then 2 days later, in the middle of the day, I get a random FaceTime from him. I pick it up, and he's just staring at the phone. Hello? He's staring at it. Doesn't do anything.
Good to
see you. Have a great weekend. So Mark, keep the train rolling.
I love it. Okay, so to me, I guess, because now you've always worked. I've never known you not to work. You've had double knee. You played tennis.
I started working when I was 9 years old.
You played tennis until you absolutely couldn't even walk anymore, and you had to have double knee replacements.
That's correct.
You still work out.
Well, wait. Let's call it what it is. He played basketball for a really long time.
Yeah.
I was so happy when he couldn't play. He would shoot an elbow right into my chest as I was winning. Bam! How do you take one of these? You know, take one of these.
The same thing that he's complaining about is the same thing he did to me until I was like 14. I beat him for the first time when I was 14. We never played basketball again. Never played basketball again.
Best weapon right here.
Awesome.
I played basketball until I was 42 years old, and then I twisted my ankle, and I said, you know what?
So just for the sake of the audience, you want to share how old you are?
I'll be 85 in November.
Still worked out. Like
Work
every
out,
day.
work out 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
I come back.
I come back.
So this is a great thing. So you have an opportunity. This is your platform to share with a lot of business people in the business community. What are the fundamentals that you would pass down to being an entrepreneur, to being great in sales? You talked about customer experience and you talked about, loving working with people, but give us 3, give us 2, give us 5. What are the fundamentals that made you successful as an entrepreneur and a sales guy?
So, Dad, hold it 1 second. So, our next door neighbor, Bonnie Berman,
Yeah.
she's watching. So, say hello to Bonnie.
Bonnie, hi, sweetie.
You don't
How
have
you
to lean
doing?
in. You
Hi.
can hello, McFly.
Fly.
Oh, it ain't easy.
Well,
It ain't easy.
number 1 is attitude. You've got to have attitude. You wake up in the morning, smile, attitude, work out, get your body in shape, make sure you're healthy, eat right, drink a lot. That helps. What else? What else? Just do the right thing. Make sure keep your sense of correctness.
Wow. Look at this.
Focus.
Good job. Mark, as the president, you want to hire him?
No,
Bonnie's going crazy. Bonnie, that's great, man. Thank you for being here. That's a good
So
memory.
I love that. I want to sum that up into you're talking about attitude, and everything that you said are things that obviously were passed down to Dad because he wrote a book about 27 rules, and a lot of that came from
You know I wrote a book, right?
what had made him successful. So great attitude, eat right, drink a lot, work out, make sure your mind is right. But then I would say, great, okay, I know my mind is right. Then what do I go do? Like we train people on a process, right, of developing business. What was your process when you got into a store? When you walked into the store to start the day, you put the keys into the lock and opened the door up. What was the process that you went through on a daily basis that you repeated over and over and over?
Well, I made sure everybody that worked for me was smiling. Always keep smiling. Never frown.
Okay, anybody who's been following us about noodle nuggets, this is unrehearsed. None of you didn't know any question, nothing. Okay, keep going. I love the smiling.
No, and just keep an up attitude. Always keep an up attitude. Make sure that you believe in your product. If you don't believe in your product, there's no sense to it. Just sell what you believe in.
I love that.
I learned that from Shaquille O'Neal. I learned that a long time ago. I think I taught it to him.
Scotty Garber that's watching, why don't you throw us a question for Grandpa? Let's see. I'll pay attention to the stream. Jake, you got anything you want to throw in?
This is why I'm just watching it unfold.
Keep going. Keep going, because I think, okay, smile, right? Sell what you believe. I believe in what you sell, right? So don't stay in a job if you don't believe in the product that you're pushing, which is phenomenal. What else you got?
Be happy with what you're doing. Always be happy with what you're doing. If you're not happy with what you're doing, get out of it.
So I got a question. So people have the notion that when you decide to be an entrepreneur, that it's a straight line to success. Would that be a accurate question? I mean, an accurate statement, or are there bumps along the way?
There's always a bumps along the way.
And how do you deal with the bumps?
You overcome the best way you can.
Would you just move your teeth?
Talk to us about a failure that happened that you remember, a real hard spot, like where it was on your back and you got through it, you got past it. But give us one that you really remember, a story or a time that was really tough in business that you got through. A temporary failure, right?
An obstacle, something that happened that you overcame.
Hard to figure. It's hard to come up with.
Schwab, you don't remember any of the bad times. Good to know when you get 85, you
You
own
try
it.
You wanna remember the good times.
not to remember bad times. You want to remember good times.
So why don't you ask him what his favorite ice cream is?
Yeah. What's your favorite ice cream?
Butter almond. What is
Right.
Butter
what is
pecan?
butter almond?
So we were in the Briars family.
Yeah.
So, Scott Garber says, what's the biggest change that you've experienced in your time of business? And could you ever imagine that we would be doing business in a virtual world like this?
No,
Because this is all we do.
The biggest change is no more face to face, head to head. My thing when I was in business was facing the customer one on one. It's not that way anymore.
Well, we've overcome it with virtual, so we do it here.
it's a whole different world.
And it's different.
It's very different. The computers changed everything.
So you buy stuff at retail. What's the biggest miss that you see from retail salespeople?
Well, there's nobody knows how to talk to anybody. You ask somebody a question, he looks at you with a blank face. Nobody knows how to answer you.
It's amazing. I mean, to hear from a guy who built his career in retail and was very successful at it, to hear him just bluntly say, look, people don't know how to talk to people anymore, which, you know, I think it's a byproduct of a lot of what has happened with, you know, social media and texting, and a lot of human interaction has been taken out. So that's a skill that doesn't get developed anymore.
I think this is terrific what you guys got here. That's what's going on with this computer stuff. But I miss the old. I'm an old timer. I miss the old days, one-on-one. It's just a whole different ball game.
So I'm going to shift gears and talk about one specific experience that I know you're going to remember. I guarantee you'll remember it. So when I finally joined the business, and I went to my first shoe show.
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened at the first shoe show? Or you want me to remind you?
Remind me.
Okay. So we spent the whole day buying shoes, filling our orders, what we were going to do.
Yeah.
And then all the guys took us out at night.
Right.
It was in Tampa.
Right. Oh yeah.
Remember?
Sure.
Right. We were at Burns Steakhouse.
Burns. Right. Absolutely.
And then I stayed and partied with the guys later than you.
Yeah.
And then when you came to get me in the morning, I was unable to move.
You're a zombie.
Zombie.
And I was like basically yelling through the door, go. What did you remember? Do you remember or not really?
I don't remember.
Okay. You the manager opened the door, you came and got me, threw me in the shower, and said, you want to play? Right? You want to play at night?
Yeah.
You got to always show up the following morning.
Yeah.
It was like one of the number one things I learned in my career. Man, you want to go out at night, you stay out all night long.
You got to know when to stop.
Or you got to show
You got to make sure you show up the next day. Answer the bell.
We haven't learned the first.
Open up in the morning. Be there.
So you meant to tell him that you got to learn where to stop. Right. That's not what we ended up learning. We learned to just show up. Doesn't matter. Show up.
He knew that was a lost cause. He knew that was a lost cause. He's like, I just got to get him to show up.
It was like, hey, listen, that day, the following day, walking around at the shoe show, there were guys looking at me going, are you going to be okay? Like, because and he was like, nope.
Just sweating profusely.
Here. And they were like, over and I was like,
which has honestly been a key lesson in our lives. I mean, that we hold near and dear. I don't think we ever don't show up.
So right.
I mean, that carried me through college. Like I didn't lose any of my social life in college because I was going to school and working with the football team. Like I just said, okay, what gets lost is sleep. Like figure it out.
Barry Piper is watching this. And for years, when we were in the phone business, we ran hard. I mean, really hard. Mark, why don't you tell the story about when I didn't show up?
When you didn't show up?
Remember, I was supposed to take you somewhere.
Oh yeah. So this is when, and this is, this isn't, you're not exactly like young at this point. You're still, but it's a good story, right? You went out.
Oh, he froze.
Long story
damn.
short, he goes out with the Indiana Pacers. They're in town playing the Heat. Reggie Miller, Byron Scott, who's a dear friend of our families.
Yeah.
They go out all night. So, they stay out late, and I'm supposed to ball boy for the Heat the next day. So I get up the next morning. I'm excited as could be to, go and be a ball boy at the Heat game, right? Super exciting. I'm down on the floor, going to get to watch Reggie Miller shoot and do the whole thing. So I'm there, get up in the morning, kind of go peek into Dad's room, and nothing. I mean, he is laid out on the bed. I'm like, all right, he'll recover. He'll be all right. He'll get up. He'll get up and go. Nope, nothing happening. So it gets close. Oh, I'm by myself now. Awesome. All right, I'll finish telling the story for you guys. So day goes by, and we're getting close. And I know the timing of when we need to leave to be down at the Miami Arena and be there in time. And I know what time I got to be there for shoot around. And I'm like, man, it's getting close. So I go in, I open the bathroom door, and I just see him just sitting there as hurt as could be. And I'm like, oh, man. So I say, are we going? And he looked at me and he goes, sorry, dude, can't do it. And I was like, But, that's just part of, playing the game is he got unbelievable opportunity to go out and spend the night with the Pacers and all that kind of stuff. And that's the one time that I can remember that, we didn't do what we were going to do. So I guess I'm here by myself, and I'm going to keep this thing going for a while because why not? Right. I'm here on LinkedIn. See who else is here. But the show, it is now one. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. We're coming up on 30 minutes anyway, but we love our family. And I think, hearing my grandfather talk today about, deal with people, make people feel good, customer experience, word of mouth marketing, which holy cow, the fact that we talked about that this morning, smile, attitude, the fundamentals of success are always the fundamentals of success. So from the oldest generation of Noodleberg to the youngest generation of Noodleberg, Kai, you want to come here? You want to come here real quick and send us off to the youngest? This is the youngest generation that's going now. Have a fantastic weekend. Excited to be, can you say have a great weekend?
Have a great weekend.
Nice job. We're excited to celebrate my dad's birthday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay on the ball, get on the ball, and we will see you guys on Monday.
Hello.
We're back.
I don't know if we have an audience or not, but what a drag. That was fun. That was starting.
A lot of fun.
That was starting to really happen. Let's see if the boys come back. Let's see if I can get them back. Let's see. Oh, well. So what's your takeaway from stuff like this?
It blows my mind.
Pretty cool, right?
It's a wonderful thing.
At 85 years old, to think that you can communicate with anybody in the world in a click.
It's amazing.
And there's Jake.
I mean,
So Jakester, do I have you back?
You do.
I already took it home. I closed it out.
You finished it. I watched it.
Shout out to Tom Olson. Tom Olson's like, I can't believe your family bailed on you like that.
I don't know how you would have lost internet. So
Yo, Mark's like mid-story and goes, "Oh, I'm by myself."
Here we go. I'll finish the story for you guys.
bring it home with Grandpa. We were just saying he's in awe that we're even doing something like this. So bring it home. We had a great time. Time for us to get together and party in person. Go, Mark.
So what I had said is that it's just unbelievable to be able to talk to the original generation of Noodleberg and hear so many of the things that we talk about on a daily basis come from your mouth. It just goes to show that when you're taught the right way, it doesn't matter the decade, it doesn't matter the tools that you're using, the fundamentals of success are always the same: attitude, smile, customer experience, all of those things. So thank you for teaching us the right way originally and setting the standard. And love you and can't wait to see you.
I just want to say how proud I am of my son and his sibling.
Oh.
To me,
It's gonna be a water.
By the way, we cried. Noodleberg's a real man, but we cried.
we cry.
It's awesome.
It is pretty,
All right.
guys.
Well, I gotta pack this stuff up. I gotta get the boy out of here and get him up there to you guys so we can
Yeah,
go
bring
swimming.
my great
So,
grandson over
You
here.
guys have a great weekend.
Done.
Cool.
see you guys.
Love you guys.
Thank you.